Hi, I've just noticed that this matches my top. I'm sitting here with a cup of tea and my poppy filled mug. I've got mugs with most of my book covers on it. I've stopped getting every single one because just too many mugs now. Not just of my book covers, I have lots of other mugs too. I love mugs. But today I thought I would talk to you about reading. So there was a conversation somewhere this week where an author on, I believe Facebook possibly, mentioned that she had been in a chat somewhere and another author had said that they didn't believe you needed to read to write, basically. And she disagreed. And I have to say, I agree with her. When I'm asked, which I often am, about my 5 top tips for an aspiring author, one of them is to read a lot. I think if you read well-written books, and by that I don't necessarily mean, award-winning fiction, but a book that personally to you pick up, you read and you cannot put down. Obviously other readers will feel the same thing. So either because of the hooks, because of the characters, because of their story arc, whatever, if you pick up a book and you just cannot put it down, to me, that's a good book. Also, I suppose the literary greats as well, if you would like. But if you read a lot, probably across the board, different books, then you will pick up the intonation of what you need when you read it out loud, so to yourself. So when you're writing, if you read a lot, you will be able to understand when you write instinctively, oh, the flow's not quite right here, or we actually need something, a bit of a twist here, or I should actually be increasing the intrigue here, that sort of thing. I think it's something, it becomes ingrained in you, what is probably needed to make the story better. That's my thought anyway. I read a lot. So I've mentioned in the past that I always have 3 books on the go. So these will be on my Kindle for reading in bed, on an audio book because that's my only way to get to sleep and it's how I drive, it keeps me calm, and also it saves my eyes. Sometimes when I'm very, very tired, I will go to bed and I'll just lie there with my eyes closed and I will listen to my audiobook when I wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night, which I do most nights. I think an awful lot of writers tend to have not be able to sleep very well. I don't know if it's because our brains never stop. I'm not terribly sure, but I've never been a good sleeper and I've certainly been worse in the last few years. So if I wake up in the middle of the night, instead of lying there and worrying about things and letting my mind race, I quickly put on my audiobook, put on a time for 15 minutes or half an hour, and I listen to it. I tend to then reset it half an hour again and possibly again a few times. But that's how I keep relaxed. And I also have a physical book and I like reading those in the bath. So I have 3 books on the go. As a writer, I obviously read a lot for research. I have piles of books over there, 2 bags, loads of books down in my shelves below over there, and behind me I have lots of research books, which some I've read many times. So I do read a lot of research books. I also am sent quite a few books to read, to give quotes for, and I buy an awful lot of books. So my Kindle possibly has, I haven't looked lately, but it must be around 300 books on it. Most of which I haven't got round to reading yet, but I also buy a lot of paperbacks because I do like, I love all sorts of books. I'm always buying. So I bought out today, so my books, look at this is a Broken Faces tote bag that I bought. I had done, oh gosh, it's heavy, I probably shouldn't have done that. So I keep my books in the house. In the studio, they are my books. So in the studio, I have my own books, I have research books, and I have notebooks, lots and lots of them. But I thought I would show you the sort of things that I am reading. Well, I'm not reading yet, but I'm about to read. So at the moment, I'm reading the 30th anniversary edition of Lady of Hay by Barbara. Sorry, my brain's gone. I blame it on COVID that I had over Christmas. Absolutely fabulous it is, and I just want to sit and read it all the time. I'm also reading another friend's book, To Give a Quote. I'm absolutely loving it. So that's very exciting. And I've got a few others coming. But recently, one of the publishers that I love their books, Mandalay Press. So these books are about £18, so they're quite a lot. I've got another one. I was asked to give a quote for one. What is it called? Rescuing Venus. It's over there. I should have picked it up before. But then this is one of the more recent ones, China Court by Rue McGodden. So they're classical books, absolutely wonderful books. So that's Mandalay Press. If you want to actually look them up, they're beautifully published books. When you receive a book, I mean, it's just all very lovely. They're wrapped in tissue paper. You'll get a bookmark and a lovely postcard and a little note on the back. I mean, how lovely is that? The artwork is beautiful, very well worthwhile and very collectible. So I've got quite a few of those now. They haven't got too many books published, but I always tend to buy them because they just look so lovely, feel so lovely, and read so beautifully. Another book I have started reading, that it's a big thick one. My friend Kelly Clayton recommended this to me. Kelly Clayton reads more books than any other person I've ever met. She is quite incredible how quickly she can read a book. It's remarkable. I'm far slower than her. So this is by Terry Hayes. I'm Pilgrim. It's a thriller. It's fantastic. It's really good. I just need to finish a few books before I can allow myself to get back to it. I mean, this one is, how many pages is this? Over 900 pages. So I can't wait to get back into that. I'm also going to read Christy Barlow's books are like a hug. They're just gorgeous. This is part of her Love. I actually can't speak at the moment, can I? Love Heart Lane series. I think there's probably about 15 books in the series. This is beautiful. This one is The Library on Love Heart Lane. Absolutely gorgeous. You know, when you read Christie's books, you'll love them. Look, there's a little map in the front and each book is a different story. It's in a different house. There's a library. There's a little farm. There's so many. Absolutely lovely. I love these. You see what I'm showing you, my books I'm reading. These are actually I hadn't thought of this. These are my books that I will be reading next. And these are all very different. So you have the classical one, you have the thriller, you have the romance, you have another favourite author of mine, and disclaimer, another good friend of mine, Glynis Peters, lovely lady, fabulous award-winning writer. And this is absolutely gorgeous. This is part of her Red Cross series. This is really lovely. So this is The Orphan's Homecoming. Absolutely love Glynis's books. They're historical fiction. Now, I write historical fiction, and I also write contemporary romances. And what I don't do is, when I'm writing, at the moment I'm writing the first draft of the contemporary romance, so the second book in my Hollyhock Farm series. So when I'm writing that, I wouldn't, for example, read one of Christie's books, because it's the same genre, and it just worries me that subconsciously I might sort of absorb something. I'm terrified of, you know, that I just want to write something completely different. So I will read while I'm writing contemporary romance. I will read probably historical fiction or a thriller, something like that. So when I read Glynis's book, I will not be reading it while I write an historical. Another book I've still got to read, this was sent to me by the publishers, I was very excited, and it does look fantastic, and I've looked at the beginning, is 19 Steps by Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading this as well. This also looks very good. Again, because, you know, our lives are so busy, aren't they? I just love reading, and I believe you should read, and as I said, across the board. Another book, this is the last one I'm going to show you, so don't think I'm going to go on forever. So this one, somebody was talking about, maybe it was online. It's by Sunday Times bestseller Emma Gannon, who wrote the book Olive, and this is non-fiction, and it's the success myth, letting go of having it all. And I love that idea. So it says, do you think you'd be happier if you won the lottery? Possibly most of us think that. Do you spend your days scrolling, thinking everyone else is living life better than you are? Sometimes. I certainly think other people have it more together than I do. Have you ever got a long-awaited promotion and felt underwhelmed? Probably not. I rarely got promotions. Then you're not alone, and it says our obsession with achievement is a trap, and this is how to break free. So I'm one of those people where I always think I could have done better. Doesn't matter how high my books get in the ratings, or think, oh, why didn't it do that? I'm always trying to improve on my writing. I don't do this mostly with my writing, I think. And I think sometimes you just got to think, you know what, I'm doing my best, and your best has to be good enough, really, because it is your best. But I always feel I could learn, hence reading all these books all the time. But I do love reading, and I think that if you want to write, reading can only help, can't it? Even if you read a really bad book that you really couldn't stand, you put down quickly, think, why did I not like that book? What was it about it that made me want to just put it down or throw it across the room, or whatever you do when you really dislike a book? And likewise, if you read a book that you love, think, what was it about that book that kept me turning the pages? Why could I not wait to get back to it when I had to go and cook the supper or go shopping or walk the dogs or whatever? What was it about it that drew me back? And that can only surely help with your own writing. If you're a writer, if you're a reader, of course, how lovely that you have all these different books to choose from. Let me know below what you're reading, should you wish to. Thank you for joining me again. I have got copy edits to do now, so I better get on with them. They're going to take me a few days, and I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If you are back here again, if you've come here before, thank you very much. I love seeing you here, love reading people's comments. If you don't know who I am, my name is Deborah Carr. I'm a USA Today bestselling author of historical fiction, and I write contemporary romances. So I write historical fiction of my own name, Deborah Carr, and I write, there's one of my books there, and I write contemporary romances as Georgina Troy. There's one of those books there you can't actually see very well. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you very much for joining me.